Rest of season tight end rankings for fantasy football. As we hit the midpoint of the 2024 NFL season, tight end production is starting to stabilize after a rocky start. In this rest of season ranking for tight ends, Scott Pianowski breaks down the position into tiers based on value and projected performance. The big tickets. These elite tight ends are game changers and the backbone of your fantasy lineup, often bringing consistent high-level production. George Kittle -$34. Key stats: 503 yards, 40 receptions, 6 TDs. Kittle is the top tight end in terms of red zone usage, 13 targets, 6 TDs, and continues to be a dynamic downfield threat. Despite the 49ers' red zone struggles, Kittle's involvement remains high, making him a top-tier fantasy asset. Travis Kelce -$30. Kelce continues to dominate as Patrick Mahomes' top target and remains the most consistent tight end in fantasy, week in and week out. Brock Bowers -$28. Although he lacks elite QB play at Georgia, Bowers is a dominant force in college, ranking high in YAC and showing flashes of potential in the NFL. Still, his draft status is dependent on the team that picks him and the QB play he gets. Trey McBride -$26. With decent volume in Arizona, McBride is seeing plenty of targets, though he remains a low upside play due to limited touchdown production. Legitimate building blocks. These tight ends bring solid production and have high fantasy value, though they may come with some consistency issues or minor injury concerns. Cade Otton -$23. Recent performance: TE5, TE1, TE2 over the last 3 weeks. With the injuries to Mike Evans and Chris Godwin, Otton's role in the offense has surged, making him a potential league winner. He's been seeing plenty of targets, especially in the red zone, and could become Baker Mayfield's top target. Evan Engram -$22. Engram's volume remains steady, and he's a valuable target in a Jaguars offense that's becoming more efficient. David Njoku -$22. Njoku is producing solid fantasy numbers but lacks the consistent red zone target share that Kittle or Kelce enjoy. Kyle Pitts -$21. Pitts' breakout game could be coming, but he's been inconsistent under a struggling offense. His talent keeps him in the building block tier. Tucker Kraft -$21. Red zone value: 4 TDs. Good YAC numbers. With 9 red zone targets and solid production, Kraft is growing into a key piece for Green Bay. However, his role remains threatened by the Packers' deep receiver room. Sam Laporta -$16. Laporta has shown flashes of brilliance and is part of an exciting young offense in Detroit. Mark Andrews -$15. Andrews is a staple of the Ravens' passing game, but his role might be threatened by the growing talent around him. Jake Ferguson -$13. Ferguson continues to be a key safety valve in the Cowboys' offense, seeing consistent work in a balanced offense. Dalton Kincaid -$11. Kincaid is a long-term asset, though inconsistent early on. His potential is tantalizing if the Bills lean into more 12 personnel sets. Taysom Hill -$10. Hill's unpredictability makes him a boom or bust play. However, his goal line role in New Orleans gives him value in deeper leagues. TJ Hawkinson -$10. Hawkinson remains a high-volume target but hasn't had many standout fantasy performances this season. Some plausible upside. These tight ends have upside but could be inconsistent week to week. They may be worth stashing or taking a flyer on. Dallas Goedert -$8. Goedert has had moments of brilliance but struggles to maintain consistent targets in a crowded Eagles offense. Hunter Henry -$8. Henry is a solid, steady performer but lacks the elite upside of others in this tier. Cole Kmet -$8. Kmet's production has been underwhelming, though the Bears' offense has shown signs of life. He can be a decent weekly streamer. Mike Gesicki -$7. Gesicki has been hit or miss in New England's offense, but his athleticism can lead to big games. Zach Ertz -$6. Once an elite Tay, Ertz has slowed down but is still usable in deeper leagues. Pat Freiermuth -$6. Freiermuth's involvement in the Steelers' offense has been inconsistent. but he remains an important part of the passing game. Jonnu Smith -$5. Smith's role remains volatile, but he has had some big weeks. His upside is limited, though. Dalton Schultz -$5. Schultz has struggled in Houston but remains an option in deeper leagues. Bargain bin. These players are low-cost options that may have short-term value, but they come with significant risk. Jawan Johnson -$2. Johnson has potential, but his weekly production is hard to trust. Jatavian Sanders -$2. A stash option for the future. Sanders hasn't had much impact this year. Noah Fant -$1. Fant's role is minor in Seattle, making him a dart throw in deeper formats. Colby Parkinson -$1. Parkinson hasn't carved out a meaningful role yet. Will Disley -$1. Disley is also just a depth option at best. Chig Okonkwo -$1. Okonkwo's inconsistency makes him a risky play, though his ceiling is higher than some others in this tier.